a former West Indian opening batter, one of the greatest batsmen of all times. So let me just give you a little bit about Sir Gordon. He was a nightmare for all the fast bowlers in the world, regardless of where he played. And according to Mark Nicholas, who you have sometimes watched on the TV, he said when he was batting, nobody was safe. You know, the bowler was not safe, the ball was not safe, the fielders were not safe, and the windows were not safe. And so were the records. They were all broken. So going back to the time when he played, cricket was different. It's a lot different now. But wherever he played with the passion, and he had what he believed in the dignity and honor of the game. And he still believes in it. And he carried it through his coaching. And he was the most significant coach of Bangladesh cricket when he coached the winning ICC trophy team in 1997. That actually led us on our way to gaining test match status. Sir Gordon, welcome back to Bangladesh. And it's an honor and a privilege to have you with us, especially to support the book project that we're going to talk about today. Again, welcome and thank you. As far as Hamilton is concerned, he's a Zimbabwean by birth, but a Bangladeshi by heart. And I mean every word of it. And that's because he has played a lot of domestic cricket in Bangladesh with success, and he knows every biryani house in Dhaka. His favorite haunt is probably what? Star kebab? Star kebab. So, Hamilton had told me once that there are more people in Bangladesh that know me than in Zimbabwe. So welcome back to your second home. It's a pleasure to have you, not only in Dhaka, but also because of this project. Thank you. Hamilton, after he retired, he has become the director of cricket operations in Zimbabwe. And I think, like many others, that he has been the main factor in improving Zimbabwe cricket. And I believe it is a combination of Hamilton and David Houghton, who is the current coach. And this is not my opinion. This is what Aminul Islam Bulbul, who is the ICC development officer with ICC Asia, he told me that these two people are the people responsible for the rise of Zimbabwe cricket. And they've been playing some excellent. Remy, well done. And congratulations. And congratulations to what they do. What we would like to do today is, we talk about the book later. We talk about some anecdotes, moments of joy, moments of sorrow pertaining to cricket for each individual. So Gordon, what I was asking you, 1983, West Indies in the final gets beaten by India in an upset, the World Cup final. The whole world was upset, except even the Indians didn't believe they would win it. But that was a remarkable result. So what happened?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. There's somebody out there? Thank you. I too am very pleased to be here today. I did not expect this. I know we're here for the launching of the book, but there are other things that was included in this program, and this is one of them. I'm particularly pleased to be back in Bangladesh, which is also my second home. In the 2.5 years I was here working with the board, I made a lot of friends. Many of those I am still in contact with. As a matter of fact, sometime today, I'm hoping to go and pay respects to one of the officers of the board then, who I believe is not very well. So I'm particularly pleased that I'm going to get the opportunity to see him again and say hello. But I think I need to enlighten my friend on my right here about something. I'm not certain where he gets his information from. He has this book that is being vetted by everyone those who have seen it, those who have read it, whether from the front to the back, have given it great reviews. And I'm certain those of you here who have not purchased the book yet, I would advise you to try and do so, because it makes good reading. Not only that, it depicts a lot of things that happened many years ago in the start of Bangladesh cricket, with photographs as well. So you'll be able to identify some of those persons that were involved in Bangladesh cricket back then. But getting back to my friend here on my right, I was beginning to like him very much. I say beginning to because before he was being nice to me, but now he's the bearer of bad news. Why would you want to speak of the 1983 World Cup? Couldn't you just concentrate on the 1975 and 79? Well, I'm puzzled too. So if they're puzzled, what do you say about me? And I participated in that day. But it is a talking point, I know. And to be able to put your thoughts on why the outcome happened, it baffles me even today. I know there are times where small scores are hunted down very quickly, but some would say, well, that all depends on your approach. You could discuss matters in various ways about your opposition and how you wish to tackle the situation. But there's nothing, no concrete evidence as to what it is you have to do or should be doing on the day. Any given day, the best team could capitulate. It all depends on the day. Sometimes we say that some teams, when they turn out on the day, they are unbeatable on the day. And then they could have the best format, the best possible players available, and they can be slaughtered on the day. You have no answer to this. This game, I believe, is a type of game that is very difficult to predict anything that happens in this game of cricket, especially on that particular day. So, if you don't get the formula right, if you're not in the right frame of mind, perhaps if you're too overconfident, then what you believe will or should happen just do not happen. And on that particular day, it wasn't a matter of underestimating our opposition, but they had the better of the day. And if anyone would actually go back and either ball by ball or over by over, you could see that the stage of the match was as such that each time a partnership was blooming or trying to be established, something happened, which means you had to start all over again. So there was no continuity at all for the start of a partnership, no extension to it. So here it is, again too, not a situation where you could predict or even you can talk about it prior to the start, but it's very different when you get out on the field of play. Your mindset is something that you need to get right, and sometimes where and how you prefer to play, you have to curve that immensely. It's not the type of sport that one can just turn on a field and play well. This calls for a lot of training, a lot of thought in your own game in particular as individuals. I know the team may have for certain strategies, but I believe that certain individuals in the team plays a paramount part in the success of that team. You know, from watching this great game, that at times you look forward to a particular player to score or to do well, especially if he's a favorite of yours, but it just doesn't happen. So, how is this? And what is the cause of all of this? That is the daily discussion that we need to get into. Perhaps not today, but I would say that this game is a great leveler. Many times you feel that you're on top of your game, and you soon find out that you're not there at all. There's a lot more that you need to do in order to be successful on that day. I just thank God that I was able to be part of an era of cricket where I believe, and I would challenge anyone, whether here today or anywhere else, to say to me that the era of the 70s and 80s was not perhaps the best era of cricket ever seen. I think the teams, the structure of play, the competitiveness of the play, the players that were involved actually produced something very special that is going to be long-lived in the minds of those who love this game and those who had the opportunity to view it. Not to take away anything from what's happening today, because there are some beautiful players that are happening today. And I myself would watch cricket. Don't do that too often, but I do watch cricket, or I would watch cricket, I would say, especially if there's a particular player that I've heard of and not seen. And I will try to watch that player to give my own assessment of that individual. I think the media sometimes play too big a part in some of the careers of players where they are boosted too highly to start with. Yes, you like the way they play, you enjoy what you saw, but I think you need to give players more time to mature in this game, because as I said, it is the great leveler. And anytime you feel that you have this game all sewn up, you have and know every inch of what it is you need to do to be successful in this game, your mind is changed by the outcome. So, I don't want to harp too much about 1983 because that, again, too, is history. I don't want to go on to the previous years before that either. But please let's go to the future. I think this game, unfortunately, has taken a back seat. I'm speaking primarily of Test match cricket. Those of you, I suspect today, would much prefer to watch the T20 And in the recent inclusion of the T10, God knows where it's going from this. It's going to be 2 overs a side. It's changed all the time, but I don't think it's changing for the better. I think it is changing purely for spectators' enjoyment. That may be so in some cases, but no, it should not be the only thing that happens in this game. Don't lose the beauty of this game with the competition that is had when you play test match. It is called test because it tests every fragment of you that plays this game. Your mind, your whole soul, your whole being gets thrown into the game. And the outcome is a beautiful one, knowing that you have been challenged, that the competition has been fierce, the days have been long and hard and taxing, physically taxing and mentally. But you were able to overcome this because of your endurance. So, keep this game alive, please. I beg you as spectators, not just the 20 game. I still wish to see test match being played. Unfortunately, every year, countries are having to play in only 1 or 2 test matches. I feel very sad about this because I think there are times where the country needs more. And when you play a 3 test match series, should you lose the first game, it's always difficult to catch up. So I am a test match supporter, 100%, and always. Let me pause there for now, please, and hand the mic back to my friend, because I'm sure he has some other insulting comments about me, which I will address later. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon. A true cricketer, the heart. I'll come back to you with a much more pleasanter experience. So Hamid, the Bangladeshi boy, he loves playing cricket here. He knows every nook and corner of this place. This was, Dhaka is a very, not Dhaka, Bangladesh is very close to your heart, not only because you played so much cricket, but you retired in a match here. So let's talk about your experience in Bangladesh. And don't take the biryani out.
Good afternoon, everyone. So for me, I think outside of Zimbabwe, Bangladesh is the country where I've played most of my cricket. Not even South Africa, where I'm right next door. I think I've played more cricket here than anywhere else in the world apart from Zimbabwe. And yeah, my experiences have been quite fun over the years. I was laughing at myself when we arrived now, and I was watching some of the tourists that were arriving for the first time. And I was actually there pointing them out at the immigration to say, start at this desk, then you go there, then you go there. That's how many times I've been there. I don't even know exactly what to do at the immigration counter. Yeah, but just going back to my experiences, as I mentioned earlier, I played quite a bit of cricket here, and I think I've really enjoyed the Bangladeshi people, the Bangladeshi culture, and maybe just a bit of a secret as well. I think I only qualified for the book because I snuck in, because I know the family I run. Yeah, and I think I've really enjoyed, especially the fans, the way the fans here support the game, and not only support the game, but are so knowledgeable about the game. You know, it's very rare to go to places where the fans know exactly what's going on, and know exactly where the stage of the game is, and know exactly what needs to happen in the game. But I think that's one thing that I found here very passionate, very lively fans, and it was always a joy playing in front of them. Even when we played in the club cricket, I wish I could hold up BKSP 2 and 3 and take them home with me, because I think those are the grounds that have scored most of my runs here. But yeah, it's really been a fun experience. And so not only have we played so much cricket in Bangladesh, I think having played my last international for my country here as well, that will always remain a special moment for me. I finished my career in Bangladesh, I think, which was only fitting because of the amount of cricket that we played here, and so many ups and downs from the lows of getting knocked off over 40 odd in a one-day game to the highs of winning a test match when no one else could seem to get a test match of Bangladesh and sell it. So yeah, there's been a lot of very fun moments, a lot of very good experiences, and just the culture and just seeing how it's so similar to Zimbabwe, how everyone is so respectful of their elders, and how people have managed to keep the culture and the important parts of the culture going has also been a very good experience for me, and I've really enjoyed that as well. Yeah, but all in all, I think it's been brilliant being a part of the Bangladesh people as well, and it's been really exciting being involved in the book as well.
Thank you, Randy. So, before we go to the audience, I have one more question for my good friend. This is a good one, actually. Coach, 1997, ICC Trophy, Kuala Lumpur. Head coach, we won it. It was one match, and had we lost that match, we'd be out of it, which was our game against the Netherlands. We were in a very tricky situation when rain came, interrupted, back in the dressing room. Something happened in the dressing room. Came out, and we won the match. Gordon, what did you do?
You want the truth? Well, that's exactly the story. I used to wear size 9.5. I had to put on a size 12. Team talk is always done before the game, and when there's an interval, you would briefly touch on points that didn't look good on behalf of your players, and you want that to change. You want the players to refocus on the job at hand and do what I call, this is elementary really, the right things. If you're batting, you're facing one ball at a time. If you're gonna strike out at a bowler, it is one ball you're going to receive at a time, no matter how well that bowler is bowling. And if he's bowling well, you concentrate on the ball you're going to be receiving now, not after. What happened after is totally out of your control. So if you are a bowler or a batsman, it's the moment that is important. That's going to get you through. So what you're going to say to your players, or what I will say, and what I have always said to my players, focus on that one delivery at a time, nothing else. And don't think of what's happening around you. The field placing, you look and see where the players are. So this is something that you should hold in your thoughts. And when you receive the ball, you have an idea as to where the players are. So depending on where the ball is, outside off stump, on the off stump, straight, or on middle leg or leg side. So it's how you think at the time. I feel sometimes today the players are perhaps a little more fortunate in that the laws of the game today has changed so much that if ever you thought that the laws of cricket favored batsmen, it is more so today than before. Because all the amendments of the laws, I believe, that have been changed over the last 10, 15, 20 years has definitely been more in favor of the batsman. But it hasn't created batsmanship, better batsmanship. Why is that? And sometimes I believe the surface you play on, because of the continuous play, has deteriorated quite a bit. So why hasn't the batsmanship improved? It's a good question, I believe. I don't think we have an answer to it yet, other than seeing the players where they play. Some players get by and perform well, but there are a lot of good players up there that we know and we see that just cannot do it. I mean, you take a bowler that's bowling at you and he's limited as to the type of deliveries he can bowl. He can't bowl short at you continuously. Well, short ball is relevant really, because he may attempt a short ball and it gets up to shoulder or over shoulder height. Should he do this more than twice, he's penalized for it. So it's limited as to the deliveries you will get. That may pose problems to you as a batsman. So why hasn't better batsmanship been created? Because of all of this. And I believe that the authorities are wrong when they deplete the bowler's armory and only allowing a couple of short balls. Well, I say allowed. If you bowl a short ball, as I said, you could get up higher than the bowler expected. But he's not challenging the batsman. And I feel that when you do this, it puts additional pressure on the bowlers as well too. I still also say that the bowler has 6 chances and you are not really supposed to make a mistake. If you're fortunate to make a mistake and get away with it, that's fine. But that doesn't often happen, or it doesn't happen that regular in one match. Should it happen, you need to make use of that good fortune. So I would want to see that there's more equilibrium in the game of cricket between bowler and batsman, ball and bat. Not the one-sidedness that it is today. And with the introduction of the protective gear, the helmet, arm patch, whatever, chest pad, all the protection that batsmen have, there are still too many faults that are visible. And one in particular where the batsman, because I believe of the abundance of protection that he can wear, turns his head if he sees a short ball. He doesn't look at the ball anymore. And I made this point recently that good topic for the book. I feel very strongly that you need to keep your eyes on the ball. And as I said, the comment that I made recently, and I have done so a few times, is that I would like someone to research this. I haven't done it myself. Because I believe that since the introduction of the helmet, there has been more fatalities than before. Please have a look at this. Prove me wrong. And that is sad, really, because It's supposed to be to help you protect you. You can hit you on your shoulder, on your arm, and you have a grill on the helmet and side pieces. So why would you want to turn your head and get hit at the back of your neck? You need to keep your eyes on the ball, and I believe that is fundamental in the game of cricket. So, coaches, anyone here today, anyone planning on becoming a coach, stress the point to your pupils that visualizing what is happening is paramount. Always keep your eyes on that 5.5 ounces. It hurts when it hits you, and it can be fatal at times.
Thank you, sir. Eye on the ball. So before we start taking questions from you all, some rules. There shouldn't be any question pertaining to his coaching experience with Bangladesh board. There shouldn't be any questions that may be controversial, because we've already been facing that since he's been here, and we've been trying to stop it. He's here on a private tour. It's privately, it's about relationship, nothing to do with the Bangladesh Cricket Board, that a lot of the media is trying to, prep up. So, any other questions? Please respect his position. Because some of the media is already talking about, oh, is he going to be the next head coach? Please. We don't want that, okay? So, I shall take the first one. You're from? Okay, Professor of Economics, Jahangirnagar University. Hello.
Oh, I had to skip my morning because I was watching Australia versus South Africa this morning, the test match. And I just came only to say hello to Warren Pridich and Hamilton Masakatsa. And my question is, Sir Gordon, when you first scored your first test at Lord's, how much did one of the spectators put in your pocket? You remember?
Repeat that question.
When you first scored your first test century at Lord's, one of the spectators put some money in your pocket. Tucked some money in your pocket. Do you remember how much it was?
It wasn't enough.
It was only £1. Not enough.
If it was the amount that I would have loved, I wouldn't be here.
It was £1, I remember. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
No, sorry. I think that's a jovial question. But there are times, sometimes you get £5, £10, a contribution from that person who enjoyed perhaps what he saw. Those gestures are all very nice, but I think the biggest gesture, or the nicest one, is the one where they come and congratulate you. And questions sometimes come about like, is it possible you can have your bat at the end of the game? And I say, well, no, you cannot. You can probably have a bat, but not this bat, especially if you just scored 100, because you will keep those bats as your memorabilia and for posterity for later. So it is nice. It's a nice gesture, but the one where they come and greet you and congratulate you is much better. But definitely the finance is not enough.
Not enough. Thank you. The one with the hat?
Okay, so again, a throwback. In 1984, Lord 249, when you say that it is one of the greatest innings in golf, and do you agree that this is also your best innings? That's number one. The second question is, you could have played for England, but why did you choose to play for West Indies? You may not answer the question if it's sounded difficult.
The two questions.
Okay,
First year 214 at Lord's, 1984. And victory 214 to win the match.
okay,
Your best test innings.
let me tackle that in that order. No, I wouldn't say it's my best test innings. At the time, it was an innings that wasn't planned. You had 2 sessions and probably 50 minutes to bat to score 330 or 40 runs. That is not possible really in most cases. But ever so often, you get the opportunity to be on top of your game. And realizing this, of course, you want to make it count. It wasn't a discussion that was done in the dressing room by the captain, Clive Lloyd, and the rest of the players, or with Desmond Haynes and myself, who was going up there first. It was a basic discussion because we all knew that the order was a tall one, and with so little time in order to get the runs. But it so happened that Desmond Haynes got out, and we went into lunch, and we were, I believe, at 40 odd runs to 1. And the flow of the game was as such that flow and the temper of the game was as such that runs kept on coming at regular intervals. And you spoke about my 200 runs, but I think not enough praise or comment is given to Larry Gomes for his 90 odd. But if you look at that, in that, the matches you play in and one player scoring runs, you always want and would think that your partner would try to give that person as many deliveries as possible, not to let him get cold, especially if the game is flowing well. And Larry is such a player, which we call a nudger, but he struck the ball very well on that day. He didn't just rotate the strike. He scored runs in boundaries as well. So it was flowing from both ends. But the game was being altered often in an over, where it was turned over from him to me and vice versa. So it was one of those games where they said when we came off the field, we just wondered how we did it. Because it wasn't something that you would discuss and would go in and get the job done. Okay, so I'm sorry about that, because I can't give any better answer than that, because that's how I feel. I was there, was part of it, and as I said, it was a type of game and day where everything flowed well, and all the puzzles were put in place.
Thanks, Gordon.
Question for Hammy.
Hamilton?